So I've been a developmental therapist for approximately 3 years. I worked with a little boy with Asperger's for 2 years. He is in 3rd grade right now. When I worked with him, he was in 1st and 2nd. I'd talked to his parents about it before. When he was really little, he was learning how to talk just like a normal kid, so when he was like 1, and then all of a sudden he just stopped talking and didn't say anything at all, and they noticed that he was like deprogressing, yeah? And so they took him, they got him diagnosed, and it was really hard because he didn't start talking again until he was like 3 or 4, and then it was just like one word things, and so by the time I started working with him, he was 5, and he still talked very little and didn't really make a lot of eye contact and stuff like that.
Was he medicated?
I don't think so. He didn't have any like other disabilities that went along with it. Like I know ADHD and stuff like that sometimes comes with kids who have Asperger's, and he didn't have that. Okay, so I'd pick him up from school. So after school we'd get together, and then we would go do stuff in the community, because that's kind of what my job was for, was to get him to be like every other kid, is pretty much what it was. And so we would go to the community, and we would go to the park, we would go to the library, and just getting him to play with other kids and talk to other kids and things like that. So he was like a normal kid with autism. He was obsessed with dinosaurs, and he could tell you like you could show him a picture of a dinosaur, he could tell you exactly what dinosaur it was, from what time period. I remember him always being like, oh yeah, that one's from the Jurassic time period. I'm like, no, these ones didn't ever live together. And I'm like, oh, okay, like I would never remember that stuff ever. He would tell me the same dinosaur's name over and over and over again, and I would still only remember T-Rex. That was it. I was always impressed that he remembered them so well. Previously before that, he was obsessed with Garfield for a really long time. And so there's actually an elementary school called Garfield, and his parents got him like all pumped up about how he was going to Garfield Elementary, and then for kindergarten. And then what happened was the school called them like a week before classes were supposed to start, and they said, we don't have any room in our special education classroom, so he can't come to the school, he needs to be transferred to another one. And so they were freaking out. They totally freaked out. They were like, we can't change this on him. We totally got him all stoked about this school, and he's obsessed with Garfield. And so it was really hard on them. I know they went through a lot of, they had to convince him that it was still okay, that this other school would be just as good, and they had to, they called like the superintendent of schools trying to get it so that they wouldn't have to get him to switch, because it just wasn't going to work like consistency wise, and it was really stressful on them. But he did end up having to go to another school. He has a cat named Garfield because of it. You could ask him any random question about Garfield and he could tell you exactly about it. It was so cute.